Alright, y'all. It's time to cook. I am recording this episode day of at, well, not day of yet, it's about to be day of 11:43. 11:43 p.m. It's been a long motherfucking day. I did some work today and it was really exhausting, and then I was also playing these new games that I bought on my Switch. They were really fun. And I spent a little too much time playing those. I have my economics midterm tomorrow and my accounting midterm tomorrow, which is like the last midterm. Okay, I don't know why I had 4 exams and a final for these two classes, but whatever. It's fine. Yeah. So that's my update, and I also had practice, and that was a whole thing. So I just got back like at 10. So yeah. And then I was chatting it up with my mother, so it took a little bit longer. So now we're here. And I'm ready. I honestly did not know what to film for this week's episode for a couple days, just because I I'm kind of at a loss for what to talk about, just because there ain't a lot going on. Like my first 2 episodes back, it was like, okay, yeah, this is what we're going to talk about because this is what I got going on pretty frequently in my life right now. And other than that, it's kind of just like, it's just me, you know? So, yeah. Moving on. Let me tell you how much I love my friends. Let me let you know. I love these people so much. Like, endlessly. Like, genuinely, I have so much love for each and every one of them. It's absolutely crazy. Even the one that's spamming me right now. I love my friends so much. Like, so much. And honestly, it took a lot of time to find them, and I think I found them like exactly at the right time that I needed them in a way. And when I say needed them, I don't mean like use them. I mean like appreciate them and how I can contribute to their lives and how they can change me like for the better. Something like that. They'll If they're watching this episode, they already know I'm talking about them. Like, they already know. These people in general have been there for me, like, have seen me at my absolute worst. And my absolute worst being when I moved here and before I moved here. And they did not once give up on me. And in a lot of friendships that I've experienced, this is on me too, honestly. Like, when I was left feeling this way, it was also my fault. So I'm gonna take accountability for, like, some friendships that I've had before ending, just because it's like, I know it takes 2 people to do that. In previous friendships that I've had the feeling where it's just like, it's a lot of me, of what I'm doing. And I feel like when previous friendships of mine have ended, it's just because my values and my priorities just like don't correlate with theirs in a way. And I feel like the connection and the conversation, that bonding of like things that we have in common aren't really there anymore. And it gets really sad, but ending the friendship made it easier to recognize, and I know it helped. Ending these friendships helped me grow into what I want to find in a friend, and like what values are important to me in friends. When I met my trio, I didn't think trios were like possible, just because they have like that stigma around like there's always going to be like the best friends and there's going to be like the other person. And it did happen, but it wasn't bad. You know what I mean? Like I didn't mind it. And this is why it kind of happened. So I was closer to one of them before, and then the other one wasn't as close. But we were all perfect together. Like when we were all together, it was like a friend group. Like it was just us three. But if me and one of them were together, we were like best friends. And then they started to become best friends, and then I kind of felt like the other one. You know what I mean? But when we were all together, we would still feel like the friend group. If you're an audio listener and you're not looking at me right now, I kind of feel a little bad because I'm trying to explain this with my hands a little bit, but you guys will understand. I hope. And I didn't mind it. I didn't mind like feeling like I was the third person in the trio, just because I had a lot going on, and I feel like I had a lot of other friendships in my life that I could also put time into, and it didn't make me feel like I was just leaving them. Does that make sense? And I'm not saying that it's like, oh, I didn't want to waste my time on them too, so I just wanted to go make friends with other people. No. Like, I just had a lot to share with other people, you know what I mean? Like, I just wanted to spend time with multiple friends that I had. And I don't see anything wrong with that. Easiest to explain it. And when I tell you, like, how much we've changed together is absolutely crazy. Crazy. Like, if I were to look at us when we first, like, started really hanging out together, us three. Sorry, who are you? Sorry, are these my friends? Sorry. Let's do a little recap. Like, what? Like, what? And I think that just goes to show, like, how strong the bond is. You know what I mean? So, other than my trio, I met so many other people that, like, joined our friend group, and then some left, some kind of got distant, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Because in the end, we always had each other. And now with like our expanded friend group, it's so great. It's so welcoming. It's so comforting, and I feel like so supported from everyone. And it's everything that I've wanted and more. Because I feel like we all add something individually. And it's not just someone just using the other friend for convenience, or it's just them talking. I feel like we all are able to speak freely to each other, and we all understand what we can handle with each other. Because definitely I feel like I have a different bond with every single person in the group, and I think that's beautiful. I think that's great. Because if I felt like I had the same bond and relationship with every person I'm friends with, like, I feel like it'd be a little boring. And that's kind of a simple word to use, but, like, that's kind of the best way I'd describe it. Simply put, I feel like that's a better thing because I'm not going with all my issues to one person. And I'm not just always talking to one person and kind of favoring one person out of the whole group. I feel like I can talk to different people in my group with different things. And I'm not talking about like talking shit about them. This might be a hot take for a few of you. But if you're talking shit about your friends to your other friends, what are you doing? What are you doing? Then you're not friends. I'm sorry. I will admit, within my friend group, I've talked about issues that I've had with my other friends, like still within the friend group, but I don't consider that talking shit because I'm just kind of seeking advice on like what to do. You know what I mean? Because every friendship has problems. You're not friends if you can't handle problems together. It's just like a relationship. Like, it's not a real friendship if you can't have a bad time with them too. Let's say like a good, like, no, it's not a good best friend dynamic if you guys can't handle problems together. Does that make sense? And when I go to my other friends with issues that I have with another friend, it's more of just like a seeking advice type of thing. It's not just like a, oh my gosh, she literally sucks, da, 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 I hate her so much, da, 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 like why is she even in our group? Like, no, it's not any of that because I still love these people. Why am I gonna just hate on them? You know what I mean? If I were to talk shit, then like I would be aware that we're not like this. We're not locked in like that. Like we're not really friends in that way. Here's another thing I'd like to add. Apart from my main friend group, I have quite a few like other friendships that I do consider best friends. You know what I mean? And that's not something to be ashamed of. That's something that I'm going to keep it real for because you're allowed to have as many best friends as you want, first of all. That's just my opinion. Like, of course, no, like you're allowed to have as many best friends as you want. That's just my opinion. You know what I mean? It's not just like... Those TikToks are really interesting of when my best friend calls someone else their best friend and it's like gross. Like it's like, I'm gonna kill you. Because like I feel like I used to feel that way, but I feel like at this point, like I understand like your best friend is going to have other friends. Duh. And like, am I gonna get a little bit jealous? Yes, because who the fuck is gonna replace me? But exactly, no one. Because nothing's ever gonna replicate a friendship that you're gonna have with one person. That's just the facts. So, if your best friend has another best friend, oh well, like, let them live, you know what I mean? That's just my opinion. With these other people that are kind of outside of my friend group, but I still feel like a really close bond to, I think that's also really special. You know what I mean? Because these aren't friend groups. Like, these are just individual people that I feel really close to. And I think that's also really great because, like, I get to have my own separate bond and I get to have kind of a different self as I would apart from the friend group. Because usually when you settle into a friend group, you find your place on, like, what you add to the group. Like, for example, I don't know if you guys have seen Friends or, like, seen Seinfeld or something like that, but they all kind of have their own little role in the group. Does that make sense? So, like, for me in my friend group, I feel like I'm a little bit of a mediator and kind of like an in-between for everyone. And like, I don't know. I'm the one in a relationship. I've also been known as the mom of the friend group. Something like that. Something around that, you know what I mean? And with my other individual friendships, it's kind of just like, I'm not only stuck to... Not stuck. Like, I feel like I don't have to fill that role as much. And I'm not saying in my friend group, I'm like, that's all that I am, and I feel like that's all that I'm worth to them. It's like, no, like, I get to be myself too, but that's just kind of, like, what I play. You know, like, because you get to have, like, different selves with everyone you meet. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's just, like, a little bit different, and I think that's great. I think it's very healthy. So, in my opinion, when you find the right friends and when you find friends that make you feel good about yourself, you've found the right ones. And when I say this, it doesn't restrict you to being with the same people your whole entire life. You know what I mean? Like that whole entire span, in that whole entire period of when you meet them and then you kind of, maybe you get sick of them. Because I've had friends that I've reconnected with. And during the time that we just have not talked, or when we just took some space, it probably was the best decision for the time. When it's exactly like relationships, when it's like you don't realize what you have until it's gone, first of all. And when you do realize what you have when it's gone, you miss that person and you miss the memories that you have had, and you're not going to have that same bond with anyone else. When you realize that, it's like, okay, I want to be friends with them again. But do I want to go through that whole process again just for the same thing to happen? No. When you take time apart, and if you happen to rekindle at the right time, when it's the right time for you, for both parties, because you can't just reach out to a friend and be like, hey, like, I kind of miss you, like, I was wondering if you wanted to hang out, and just out of nowhere, it might not be time for them, and they might not want to be friends with you. Simply put, and there's nothing you can do about that. You know, and it's important to recognize that time can do a lot for you, and space can do a lot for you, and that it's okay to take space from your friends. But it's not okay to just leave them high and dry. It's not okay to abandon your friends, especially if they've been there for you a lot. Even if they haven't, I feel like every person deserves to know. You may not want to give them a reason at the moment. I feel like you should at least acknowledge what you're doing, and you acknowledging that fact and taking that time to really accept what you're doing, like, helps you establish in your mind, like, okay, this is what's gonna happen. I understand the consequences of it, and maybe we'll regroup at some other time. But you have to understand that may not always happen. The way I know that my friends are, like, some of the best people in my life is because of how much I want to make them proud. You know, and that's really easy for me to admit while I moved over here, because I didn't want to just leave them and move to a whole new state for nothing. You know, if I come back to Texas and just be like, hey, I'm still depressed since I left. What's up? Like, of course they're still going to be there for me, and since I know they're still going to be there for me, that's great. But, like, I still want to make them proud, you know? And maybe that's just me. Like, maybe that's just one way that I show, like, how I accept love from my friends, and love and support from my friends. Another reason that I know that my friends are, like, really special to me is because how easily they can make an impact on me. You know what I mean? That I want to actively be better for them. And I could say the same thing about my relationship. You know, like, he makes me want to be a better person. And I can say the exact same thing for my best friends. Like, they make me want to be better. Like, let's say I upset them and they let me know about it. I will make my best effort to never do that again. Because the fact that I hurt one of my best friends, like, hurts me, and it makes me feel like absolute crap. Like, it sucks. Expanding on the fact of that I left and being a long distance friend, it's hard. Like, dude, it's so heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking One of the hardest things I had to like come to terms with is that they're all gonna be hanging out without me and there's really nothing I can do about it. It was so sad. Like all I wanted to do was just like go out to Sonic or something, get a fucking limeade and like fucking chat it up in the car with the girlies. And just be girls. Like, is that too much to ask? No. Fuck. And it was just so hard. And it wasn't even just like about going to functions. It was like I genuinely missed these people and I just literally could sit in their presence on the phone with them next to me. Like that's all I wanted and I just couldn't do anything about it. But I just had to find other ways to connect with them while I was over here. And even though it's not the same, just like my relationship, it's the best we can do. And I'm good with that. Because as long as they feel the same support, the same love, the same care that I had for them as I did them. What? As long as they feel the same support, the same care, and the same love that I had for them then, as long as they feel the same thing now, then that's great. And that makes me happy. Even though it's the same. But it's great every time I visit. I love seeing them. I love them so much. So, when I moved over here, I literally did not want to make any friends because it's just like, I wanted to be with them. Fuck, like, damn it. Like, I just wanted my friends back, you know? And it felt like I lost them, you know what I mean? Like, it just, like... It literally felt like I lost them because they weren't with me. Because we were together, like, every day. Like, fuck. Really? So I had to make other friends. And that was kind of hard. Because I was so used to having the same dynamic with my friend group and, like, other people that I feel really close with. And it's like, how do I do this again? Chat, how do I do this again? Let me know in the comments below. Like, what do I do? Like, I genuinely forgot how to, like, introduce myself and, like, have a starter conversation until, like, the first month of college. Like, it was weird. And I didn't expect to find someone that, like, I met and we clicked like this. Because friendships take time and bonds take time to form. But that was kind of hard to realize when I just started making friends again, you know? Just because I had been friends with the same people, like, basically a whole year. The reason I think friends are so important is because, let's say you're kind of just like a lonesome person, but you're kind of craving just someone to be there for you. Oops, dropped my phone. Just some time with someone else. That's what friends are for. You know what I mean? Or you just want to go to someone with your problems. That's what friends are for. You just want someone to bullshit with you. That's what friends are for. You know? And for people who have their significant other as their best friend, I think that's great. Like, I think that's probably one of the best things you can find. But there's some things that you can't have the same bond that you can with friends as you do with your significant other. Like, you guys might be best friends, you guys might tell each other everything, you guys might joke about everything all the time, but I truly think there's not gonna be a bond like a best friend, like solely a best friend. And there's just something so relieving about the fact that there's always going to be someone in your corner. Like, there's always going to be someone there to protect you, to support you, to back you up, to make you feel at ease, like, to be there for you even, like, when you're at your absolute worst. Like, it's just so comforting. And this just doesn't go for me. You know what I mean? Like, this goes for my friends too. Like, I hope they feel like, I hope they feel supported by me. I hope they feel like at ease in my presence, and I hope they feel like they can talk to me about anything. Because there's nothing else that I would want anymore, like, from them. You know, like, I don't know. Like, it's just so easy to say. And I feel pretty confident in myself that, like, I've kind of tried to do the best I can while I'm over here. And if I haven't, I hope they feel like they can talk to me about it, which it's happened. Like, and that's good. You know, transparency is good in friendships. So yeah, I think I've yapped long enough about that. I think I that was kind of all over the place, but you know, you guys, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. It's okay. I understand either way. Let's end with a soul philosophy right now. So let's talk about, I feel like I'm gonna barf, hold on. Okay, I think we're good. Let's talk about fulfilling friendships versus convenient friendships. Convenient friendships are probably, like, one of the worst things that you could have in your life. And I'm being so dead ass right now. I think convenient friendships are such, I'm gonna put this like this is gonna be very blunt. I think they're such a waste of time, if I'm being honest. Convenience friendships aren't, this, when I say this, I don't mean like, maybe you meet people at work and you're just like friendly with them because you work in the same place. That's just, you guys are work friends, and that's it. But if you're being, what I mean by convenience friendships, I mean like you're friends with someone and you're literally using them for what they can offer for you, and you consciously know that you're going to drop them right after a certain period or right after they've given what they can offer you. That is probably one of the shittiest things that you could ever do. Like, it's so annoying. It's so annoying to me. And when you take advantage of friendships, it's not right. It's really not for both people. Like, you're cheating yourself out of people that you could potentially have a really good bond with. And just be honest with yourself. If you're not feeling the vibe with these people or a certain person, then don't be friends with them. Then just be their, like, acquaintance or something, or just, like, keep them at arm's length. That's always okay. You're probably saving... I'm sorry. You're probably saving yourself and that person, too, from a whole lot of hurt. And that's it. You'll know it's a fulfilling friendship when you feel equal to your friends. It doesn't feel like there's any drama, first of all. There's always going to be, like, problems. You know what I mean? Like, you can have problems in your friendships, but when you know that you can fix it, that's a fulfilling friendship. When you know you can make that work with the other person, that's a fulfilling friendship. Just the same as I feel like in relationships. It's the exact same thing. Fulfilling friendships are two people or more that are willing to be there and support the other person or these other people no matter what. Like, you're just always going to be on their side. And that's a fulfilling best friendship. That's the best it can get. So yeah. I feel good about that one. And I hope you guys liked it too. I hope you guys took some food for thought. To reiterate, I love my friends so much, and I literally would not trade them for anything. You guys know who you are. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It is now 12:18 in the morning, and you guys will listen to this at 5 a.m. this morning. Alright, guys. Love you so much. Thanks for listening. I hope you can have a good rest of your day.